Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss about the female reproductive system, and in this video we will complete up to the uterus and vagina. But in the next video we will also discuss about the remaining parts that are external genitalia and mammary gland. Now talking about the female reproductive system. Female reproductive system is composed of, first, the primary sex organ, as we have discussed in the first video. Primary sex organs, that is a pair of ovaries, right, that is occurring in pair, two in number. After that, see, this is the ovary, has been labeled. After that, pair of oviduct. Okay students, second is pair of oviduct, that we can also say fallopian tube. Then the third one is uterus. Okay, this is an inverted pear shaped organ that is referred as uterus, and this is the cavity of the uterus, uterine cavity. Now further it extends into cervix. Okay, so there is a narrow part which is referred as cervix. Then vagina. Okay, after that external genitalia and mammary glands. Now students, if you think about this, these all organs are concerned with formation of ova, fertilization, its implantation, then child birth, as well as its care. So care and birth. So let's say the function of entire female reproductive system is, first of all, let's say the formation of ova. If sperm is there, then definitely there will be the chances of fertilization. Now you are knowing fertilization occurs in the female body. In case of humans, that is internal fertilization, and that is why implantation is occurring in the female body. So third one is implantation. After that there is care, that is called as also embryonic care, and birth. So these are the functions of female reproductive system. Now we will start with the primary sex organ, that is ovaries. Okay, and then we will discuss one by one each and every organ in detail. So let's start the first, that is primary sex organ, that is ovaries. Okay, so if you talk about the ovaries are occurring in pair, right? And say, if you think about entire female reproductive system, entire female reproductive system is present in pelvic cavity. Okay, but talking about specifically ovaries are located in the location on either side of abdominal cavity. Okay, so this is location on the either side of the abdominal cavity, lower abdominal cavity. If we can write over here, it is lower abdominal cavity. Now talking about this, the size of the ovary and its shape. So the shape of the ovary is almond shape. You can see I have drawn over here, it is almond shape. Okay, so the shape of the ovary is almond, and size of the ovary is 2 to 4 centimeter in length. So basically, this I am just taking the first morphology as well as location. Now ovaries are held in its position, right? They are perfectly held in its position by certain ligaments. Certain ligaments that are connected to the uterus and a peritoneum which is connected to the dorsal abdominal wall, that is called as mesoovarium. So ovaries are held in, why the position of the ovary is maintained, right? So ovaries are held in the position by attachment with uterus by ovarian ligament. So this I can say this is ovarian ligament which is connected to the uterus. This is uterus, this is ovary, and this line which I have shown, that is ovarian ligament which is connected. So entire part is connected with the uterus. Now end to dorsal wall attached by, right, by attachment with the uterus by ovarian ligament and to dorsal wall, right, attached by a peritoneum called mesoovarium. Okay, so this is the how it is held. Basically, it is attached to the uterus also, it is attached to the abdominal wall also. It is attached to the uterus. It is attached to the uterus by ovarian ligament, and it is attached to the dorsal abdominal wall by the help of the, what I said, it is a peritoneal fold called as mesoovarium. Okay, now talking further about it, right, let's see the internal structure of the ovary. Okay, so let us understand about the internal structure. This you have to note down. Some of the things are not given in the textbook, so you must focus it on the video, right? So basically we are going to see the internal structure. Okay, so now let's start. Ovary is solid. First one, ovaries are solid internally, right? Internally it is lined by germinal epithelium which is responsible to produce ova. Germinal epithelium. So see, the internal lining is of germinal epithelium which will be definitely producing the ova. It undergoes the various divisions and then it forms the follicles, right? So this is the first one. So let's say this is the ovary. It is almond shaped. So it is internally lined by germinal epithelium. Then the inner part is referred as stroma, which is enclosed by the germinal epithelium, that is referred as stroma. Now stroma itself, germinal epithelium encloses stroma, right? Stroma is divided into two parts. Stroma itself is divided into two parts, right? Outer one is referred as cortex, which is formed of reticular connective tissue. Okay, so it is formed of reticular connective tissue. So students, you have to remember this one, right? Inner one is referred as medulla. Inner is referred as medulla, and medulla is formed of areolar connective tissue. Okay, so it is formed of areolar connective tissue, students. So this is the first thing. Now if I say between the germinal epithelium and stroma, right? So outer one, if I say this is a cortex Okay, stroma is formed of cortex and entire inner one is referred as medulla. Okay, so this cortex and germinal epithelium, between these two there is a weakly developed connective tissue referred as tunica albuginea, right? Between them a weakly developed connective tissue. What was it called? Tunica albuginea. That was referred as tunica albuginea. So this is about the internal structure. Now what will be the function of this ovaries? If I say what will be the function of this ovary, so definitely I can say the formation of ova as well as synthesis of or secretion of the sex hormones called as estrogen and progesterone. This is the basic thing. But let me say this two contains over here. Then we will write the functions, right? Let me complete this. So over here, this we can write contains developing follicles, right? Developing follicles in various stages of oogenesis. Various stages of oogenesis. So students, this is the stage wise. Now when this every month one follicle gets matured. One follicle gets matured, right? And this is referred as Graafian follicle, called mature follicle or Graafian follicle. So students, this is the function where it undergoes the development, and this is totally under the stimulated by secretion of FSH, follicle stimulating hormone of anterior pituitary, which is secreted by anterior pituitary, and this helps to mature each follicle, one follicle every month, right? So each month there is a release of one ova. Why? Because these primary follicles are getting matured into Graafian follicle. Now let's write the function of the ovary. Ovary function is just to, the function of the ovary is just to related to ova formation, as I said, and synthesis of estrogen and progesterone. These are sex hormones. Okay, so this was all about the ovaries. Now we can head towards the we will discuss about the accessory ducts, right? So accessory ducts, starting with it is the fallopian tube or oviduct, right? So oviduct, if you see, oviduct is starting from here and it is opening into the inverted tear structure called as uterus. So on the both sides we have shown fallopian tube, you can say fallopian tube or oviduct. So oviduct is 10 to 12 centimeter in length, 10 to 12 centimeter. Now it is a muscular and tubular structure, and it is ciliated. It is ciliated internally. The function of the oviduct is to carry the ova from testes to the uterus. If it is getting fertilized, it should be implanted in the uterus. So to carry the ova from ovary to uterus. So this is the function of the oviduct. Now if I say the entire oviduct is divided into three parts. Let's see. The first part is infundibulum, which is lying very close to the ovary. See, it is not attached. It is having some gap. So you have to remember, right? There is a physical gap between them. So when the ovary releases the ova, it is released in the peritoneal cavity, and that is why the eggs are called as coelomic eggs. You remember this, right? So in this case, if I say the first part, that is infundibulum, right? Okay, it is closer to the ovary. It is closer to ovary, right? And it has a funnel like structure. It is funnel like, right? And its end part, right, is having a fimbriated finger like structure called fimbriae. So these are finger like structure called as fimbriae, having a opening, right, having opening which receives egg. Okay, so this is the when the eggs are released, right? So let's say these are the fimbriae and this is the ovary. So from here, when eggs are released, it is released in the cavity called as peritoneal cavity. So the fimbriae helps to collect the eggs, right? And then it is passed to the further oviduct. So remember this. Next one, right? Second one is ampullary region, right? Or ampulla. This is a very broad. This is a broad part. Okay. Following the infundibulum, there is a broad part called as ampulla, and this is the place. Very very important question from here. Fertilization takes place. It is the place where fertilization takes place. Where does the fertilization takes place? This is the broad part where the fertilization is taking place. You have to remember this, right? And the next part, that is isthmus, is a narrow part. It is a narrow part. Okay, so this is about the isthmus, right, which opens into an inverted pear like structure that is called as the uterus. So now we will discuss about the uterus. Okay, so let me clean this and then we are starting the uterus. See, uterus, by seeing only you can see that it is an inverted pear structure. Okay, so uterus is very important place where the embryo which is formed undergoes implantation as well as fetal growth occurs in the uterus. So it is very very important in the case of childbirth as well as the fetal development of the child. So students, you have to just remember the function of the uterus, that is about the implantation. Okay, let's talk about the uterus and understand it. Uterus is a inverted pear like structure. Okay, let me write the function of the uterus. First of all, what happens in the uterus? I said implantation of embryo and next is what I said, fetal growth, right, also occurs at this place. So this is the thing. Now if you see it, the entire uterus is divided into three parts, right? First one is fundus, then the body, right, and the third one is cervix. So let us discuss about it. The uterus is formed of three parts. Three parts. First one is fundus. Fundus is dome shape. Fundus is dome shape. See, you can see over here, it is dome shape. Okay. Above the fallopian tubes, the part which is dome shape above the fallopian tube, is referred as fundus. Second is very important, that is body. Okay. Now the body of the uterus is composed of mainly three layers, which are very, very important, right? Differentiated. Same way, it is fundus is also differentiated, but over here this is much of importance. Differentiated into three. Let's say first one, which is the outermost. It is a peritoneal layer, thin layer called as perimetrium, right? Perimetrium. It is thin peritoneum, thin and peritoneal layer. Okay. Second is myometrium, which is formed of muscular mucosa, right? It is muscular mucosa composed of smooth muscle fiber. You can also use the word on stripe, right? Okay. So mucosa made up of smooth muscle fibers. Now next one is the endometrium. Endometrium is highly vascular as well as glandular. Highly vascular as well as glandular. That means it has rich supply of blood. Okay. So, and this undergoes the shedding off during the menstrual cycle if the fertilization is not occurring. Endometrium wall gets shed off, right? So this is about the three parts of the uterus. Main thing you have to remember that implantation is going to occur in the body, right? Now the last one is the cervix. The third part is cervix. Now cervix is a narrow part. It is a narrow part. Okay. Narrow part having cervical cavity, right? That is also referred as cervical canal. Now there are two os, right? One is internal os. Let's say this is internal os. That means this internal os communicates the uterus with the cervix. So I can write over here internal os, that is communicates internally with uterus. Same way external os, right? That is over here. Then vagina starts. External os, right, communicates with vagina on the outer side. So see, this is the communication by which it is in contact. So cervix internally communicates with the uterus by internal os, and same way cervix communicates with the vagina by the help of external os. Now talking about the last one, that is vagina. You are already familiar about the vagina, right? It is approximately 7.5 centimeter muscular tube, right? And it is lined by non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, right? And it is also lined by mucous membrane having many internal fluids called as vaginal rugae. Okay, the function of the vagina is to receive the sperms, right, during the copulation, right, between male and female. So this is the about vagina. Let me clean this and we will finally conclude this topic. Okay, so this is the last one, that is we already discussed it, but then also let me write over here vagina. It is fibromuscular tube, right, opens outside the body, right, in front of rectum and anus, right? So extending in front of rectum and anus, right? It opens there. It is approximately 7.5 centimeter long tube, right? It is made up of non-keratinized, see over here, non-keratinized